Last time on Hakai, Gohan and the others travel to a realm called the Hyperdimension, a place said to be located even above Zeno's kingdom. But why has Pikkon brought him here? What can this place do for them that ordinary training cannot? The Warden of Passage. Appearing before a giant celestial castle, Gohan beams with excitement. This place! I've never seen anything like it! Piccolo adds,
Pikkon, what is this place?
Their cube still slowly lurching forward. He again explains it's called the Hyperdimension. It's a dimension situated above the 12 universes they're familiar with, the ones which participated in the Tournament of Power. Another phrasing for these 12 universes is simply Zeno's realm, which is what the Guardians and other high beings know it as. If they look below, they'll notice that the cube and pathway alike are translucent. What they can now look down upon are said 12 universes. Really cool to Gohan. Getting a glance, he yaps in amazement. So we're flying above the 12 universes right now? Leading to an intrusive thought, he then asks, if we jump off this bridge, will we fall down there? However, things aren't quite that simple. The answer is far more complicated than it may initially seem. Physics aside, if, hypothetically, one of them were to actually leap off this bridge, they wouldn't merely fall in a straightforward manner. Instead, they would be utterly annihilated, essentially erased by forces so vast that their physical existence would be reduced to nothing in an instant. Although it may look like the 12 universes are positioned closely together, so close in fact it gives off the illusion one could reach out and touch them. The truth is an unbreakable, impierceable force exists between them. It's known as a dimensional barrier. And its power is beyond measure. It prevents any form of intersection between where they are now and the aforementioned universes. It can't be breached by any conventional means, no matter how powerful the individual trying might be. That is precisely the fundamental function of the hyperdimension itself. It doesn't merely separate these realms, it ensures they remain isolated from each other, keeping a natural order intact. Piccolo mentions how Beerus once shared some knowledge of these realms during his time on Earth, offering subtle insights. Though the unfortunate reality is Beerus didn't elaborate on the specifics, he left out many crucial details, leaving him shrouded in mystery. From what Piccolo managed to gather, the entirety of the 12 universes operates on a singular collective entity, all part of the same grand overarching system. He recalls Beerus also briefly mentioned the villainous celestial mages, stating that these beings don't belong to the same realm at all. Rather, they hail from an entirely different place, one that exists outside the structure of the 12 universes, a realm that is completely unexplored to they themselves. Pikkon, without a moment of doubt, confirms all this. The universes they're familiar with are all part of a single realm, the realm of Zeno. The celestial mages belong to another realm called the realm of Zarat. Beyond these two, there are 5 other realms. This means not only are there more than the dozen universes we already know of, but potentially another 100 or so. They all just belong to their own realm ruled by their own Omni-King-like entity. Given how they're now outside their native realm, Piccolo then inquires which realm they're in now. Strangely enough, the Guardian informs are actually in none of them. Of course, leading to Boo's confusion if he wasn't confused already. But the Hyperdimension is not part of any of the 7 realms. It exists between them, above them all. The realms do not directly connect with one another in any natural or immediate way. Instead, the Hyperdimension serves as the only true link that binds them all together, acting as the singular point of convergence between these otherwise separate realms. This very bridge they now stand upon is a physical manifestation of that connection. It specifically links the Hyperdimension to the realm of Zeno, providing a structured, controlled passage between these vastly different planes of existence. Each individual realm possesses its own unique Koizmo-sama, similar to the one they encountered and made use of to arrive at this point. These Koizmo function as gateways between their respective realms in the Hyperdimension, ensuring that travel remains both possible and regulated. Each bridge leads to the center of the Hyperdimension, and as far as he knows, There's no other way to travel between realms without passing through here. So techniques like the Hakai or instant transmission likely wouldn't have any luck getting here. Pikkon pointing. He explains, over there is where all the passage control through the hyperdimension happens. Our heroes take in the building before them, asking what this place is. At last disembarking from the cube. This is the castle of the Warden of Passage. This is where all the bridges that lead to the realms connect. If they want to pass from one bridge to another, they must first pass through this place. If anyone's caught trying to bypass it, they could meet a very tragic end. Spotting something way in the air, the Namekian queries what that thing is. Referring to a type of mystical orb, does that lead to the other realms? But no. That leads to the Celestial World, Pikkon's current home. That's where the group is headed next. Gohan remarks, I see. You and the other Celestial Guardians don't live in any of the realms, right? Exactly. They all live in the Celestial World, which, like the Hyperdimension, is a neutral zone outside the 7 realms.
I see. But tell me something.
Shouldn't this place they're in be at the center of the Hyperdimension, which is above and at the center of the realms? How did they cross that bridge and get here so quickly? Shouldn't it have taken much longer? A question that gets Pikkon's attention. Continuing.
As it would be like crossing at least half a realm.
To keep it short, Pikkon explains space works differently here. A distance that would take them a long time to cover in any of the realms can be traversed here in just a fraction of a second. There are actually many places like this where space and/or time function very differently. Anyway, slice it. Our 5 characters approach the Warden's castle to enter. Curious, Gohan questions why they have to enter this castle instead of going directly to the Celestial World. Just like traveling between realms, entering the Celestial World requires permission from the Warden of Passage, the master of this building. As a Celestial Guardian, I have free access to the Celestial World, but you do not. That's why I need to appeal to the Warden to allow your passage. Entering a room, a figure sits at the back, very reminiscent of King Yama. Getting a closer look, we see a man, no different in size from our heroes, kneeling before an enormous entity. That guy's huge! Who can't help but blurt out. Piccolo notes how he's not just big in size. He can't sense his ki, but the aura this guy exhales feels incredible. Ushering his group forward, Pikkon commands him, let's go.
I'm curious, Pikkon. Why was that being called Koizmo so surprised when he looked at us?
Not exactly revealing the answer, the Guardian replies. Let's just say there's something special about all of you that Koizmo-sama was able to sense just by looking at you and feeling your aura. That's what secured your passage. I'll explain in detail later. That is, if the Warden of Passage approves you. Although the fact that this giant needs to approve him makes the Namekian feel uneasy. Gohan has another question for their leader. Is all this giant guy does is serve as the doorman to the realms? But just like with Koizmo, Pikkon warns he'd show a little more respect if he were Gohan. He is not a mere doorman. He's one of the most essential figures in maintaining order among the realms. Without him, the relationships between the realms could become chaotic, with constant issues arising due to improper transit. In fact, he was the one who created the Celestial Guardians, the order Pikkon himself belongs to. The Warden of Passage is one of the most respected beings in all of existence. As we see this man for the first time, he actually even slightly resembles Yama in appearance. spotting the person knelt before him. Piccolo mentions how he reminds him a lot of Whis, something that is to be expected as they're part of the same race. Not only is their physical appearance similar, they have more or less the same uniform. Come on, Piccolo, you've seen other angels before. Pikkon continues. That man is an angel who surely came from a realm where the angels originate. But is he saying the angels are from another realm? One outside Zeno's? Precisely. There's a whole story behind the angels they've come to know. Another origin to be explained later if they'd like. But for now, as the Warden and Angel sit in silence, Gohan asks why the Warden is acting like that. The Angel kneeling before him is undergoing judgment. The Warden is undoubtedly making his decision at this very moment. Upon questioning what this judgment is about, based on his key, that angel was some kind of deity in his realm, but he died. The Warden is deciding whether or not to accept him into the celestial world, depending on how he lived and died. And a god from the angel race? He must have been extremely powerful. Cutting off their conversation, it appears the Warden's made his decision. He announces,
I have reached my verdict. My sovereign and irrevocable decision is... You are unworthy!
As the angel panics, no, it can't be! He begs him to reconsider, but with a mere wave of a hand. Taking the logistics into account, this can't be. That angel god was destroyed with just a wave of his hand. The Warden of Passage was created by the energies of 6 supreme deities. He himself is as powerful as one. So is he saying he's as strong as even Zeno? With a pause. Well, since Zeno is by far the most careless of the supreme deities, I'd say the Warden has far more skills than him. And just a warning, the Warden of Passage isn't known for his good mood. Be careful not to anger him, or we will all be killed.
Next!
Back on planet Vegeta in the past. In his own castle, the Saiyan King stands bewildered at the sight before him. He stammers.
Is this some kind of joke? How can you two look so alike?
Bardock and Goku have both reported back to him to clear up this whole criminal misunderstanding, or so it seems. Bardock explains, King Vegeta, I already know what's going on and why this man looks so much like me. I'll explain everything to you now. Did Goku actually go through with telling his parents their future son is a literal time-traveling god? Or did he come up with something much less reckless to somehow calm the ruthlessness of the Saiyans and keep his identity secret?